God be with you.
I'm ready.
Are you sure? You should wear lightweight black clothing. Anything you don't need, you can leave here. I don't want you clanking around in plate armor.
Of course. I'll finish getting ready. Can you teach me how...
Certainly.
I'd like to hone...
First, you have to...
Well... I'd like to get...
Certainly.
I'm interested in...
All right. Now.
I'm ready.
Are you sure? You should wear lightweight black clothing. Anything you don't need, you can leave here. I don't want you clanking around in plate armor.
Yes, I'm ready to go.
If any of you are having second thoughts, this is your last chance to speak. Very well. So I hope we're all clear on what has to be done. We need to free the hostages to deprive Toth of his advantage. Now he'll be keeping them somewhere where they can be guarded, but somewhere separate from his other men.
And where would that be?
We always kept our captives in the house on the bailey by the stables.
What if they're in their tower or somewhere else?
Then we'll have to go to the gate and try to open it. But that will take time and attract attention. So we can only do it if we know exactly how things stand. And if they sound the alarm, before we've done anything, we get out of there quick. Understood?
And leave them there?
Better a couple of hostages than a pile of corpses. Lord Capon, are you quite certain you want to engage in this action?
Quite. After all, it can't be much different from sneaking out of the upper castle in Rattay and back in every night. Besides, who else will keep this hothead from raising bloody mayhem?
Well, see to it that you do, my lord. May God guide our footsteps.
This will be something. They'll be telling stories about this place for years. Legends. Unless we fuck it up, then Ishmael will be telling stories. Which will be on us.
We'll go first and take out the sentries. Wait here.
What are they waiting for?
Quiet, for fuck's sake.
What are they waiting for?
How should I know?
Why do I bother asking?
Oh, be quiet and watch that light on the battlements. Fuck this waiting over the clock.
I'll put on his armor and watch this side, but there are still 2 guards on the portcullis winch to deal with. Any volunteers?
Henry will do it.
Buffoon?
Henry, then. Just make sure you keep quiet.
First, we have to find the hostages. It'll all go a lot easier if no one sees us. And fooling around with the portcullis is bound to draw attention. Come back and deal with the rest. Easy now. We're almost there. Let's not fuck it up in the 11th hour. Patience. He has to move. Any time now.
God.
Where's Sir Radzig and Lady Stephanie?
Lady Stephanie? She's not here. She must be held somewhere else.
Where? Where is she being held, and where's Sir Radzig?
I suppose the lady might be in her chamber. We don't know anything. They herded us here and told us not to move a muscle.
Damn it all. We'll have to go back empty-handed. I really thought we could pull it off.
We're not going anywhere. Not without my father and Lady Stephanie.
And how are we meant to find them? They're not in the stables or anywhere nearby. You want to creep right inside the palace where Toth's men are everywhere?
Yes. You can't leave them in Toth's hands.
It was hard enough getting this far, but going inside is madness. What good will it do them if we get caught?
Then we mustn't get caught.
Listen, Hal, I can appreciate your stubbornness, usually. But this could cost us our heads. At least we saved those other people.
I told you, I'm not leaving here without the hostages.
If you're determined to be a stubborn ox, go right ahead. I suppose you might as well look for your sword while you're at it. No point leaving the job half done.
Save your speeches. Are you going to help me or not?
If you want to get yourself killed, you can do it alone. But before you go raising bloody mayhem, give us time to get out of here.
Come on then. Let's get the fuck out of here before they catch us.
Gorva! Fuck my ass!
Oh no. There's also one possibility. Get out of the castle with Keppel. Surely. That's not good. Can he move on? Do I have to help out?
I'll find you. I'll have to tell you, mate, for a right.
Henry, get me out of here!
What?
Stop telling everyone what you
What? You got to be kidding. I'm ready to help them.
I've got an arrow in my arse. See for yourself if you don't believe me. Henry, get me out of here. Is that all you?
Ow!
Wait a second now. Yeah, that's the one. Alright. Well. Where's the thing that we've got to wait for a second though. Wait. No bullshit like this. Come on. It's a bit stupid.
Fuck my arse.
Where could he have vanished? He must be here somewhere.
Fuck my arse.
You gotta be kidding me. What the fuck is this kind of crap?
Henry, get me out of here. Stop telling everyone what an idiot you are. I've got an arrow in my arse. See for yourself if you don't believe me. Is that all you've got? What's the matter? Not taking it seriously. Oh, Henry, come here. Henry, if you get me out of here, stop telling everyone what an idiot you are. Is that all you got?
I'll find you, Lincoln. You can't hide from me.
Henry, sorry to trouble you.
Alright, hello again. Well, when I figured out what to do, I will see you then. I finally did it. What an annoying thing was that.
I have to admit, we didn't do too well.
True. The shame of it. They drove us back before we even got anywhere. It's worse than if they'd killed us.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. We had to give it a try. If we succeeded.
If pigs had wings... I know it troubles you, but it's not over yet. We'll rescue the hostages and hang that bastard Ishvan.
Well, we finally did it. It was really annoying, but yeah. We're now going to have a siege, seems to be the case. But
It seems, Robard, that we're running out of options.
We don't have enough men to scale the walls with ladders. We can't afford to lose any more. We can only take Talmberg by a ruse or with superior numbers. Ruses have failed, and we don't have superior numbers.
Then we are left with no choice but to build a trebuchet. To demolish my own walls. Where is Master Feigning?
He's waiting. We sent for him as soon
Bring
as...
him to me. Let's not waste time.
Sir Divish.
You will build me a trebuchet, Master Tobias.
Trebuchet, my lord. That's not entirely in my field of expertise.
We have to take back Talmberg.
Yes, indeed, sir, I understand that.
You
but...
are the best engineer we can rely on in the whole fiefdom.
Oh, well, thank you, my lord, but it's just that I've never built a trebuchet before. This could take some time.
Then you'd better get to it. Bernard will go over the plan of attack with you.
Oh.
Well, Master Tobias, you have much to do and little time. I will not keep you any longer.
Indeed. Of course, sir. Thank you, my lord.
How are the preparations proceeding in the other camps?
As well as can be expected under the circumstances. There are still many things that need doing, but I just don't have the time for them.
No, you don't. Henry.
Yes, sir.
I would like for you to help with the preparations in the encampments.
Gladly, sir.
Robard will brief you. That'll be all.
Oh, that is so bad for him. Like, he even lost his castle, and now he has to go and take it down again. Oh. That's bad. That's really bad. I actually need some healing, like, for real. Ooh, jump. Hello, Robert. What do you have to say?
Henry, I'm glad you came.
What needs to be done?
Look, a military encampment's a complicated thing. I don't expect it to be as peaceful and orderly as Holy Mass. But what we have here now is havoc. The men are as nervous and short-tempered as caged bears. When you walk around the camps, you'll see for yourself. Grumbling everywhere, complaints about everything from the gruel to the fleas. They're moaning they've drunk the alehouse dry, and now they have to wait for the next batch of beer. We've got dead who deserve a decent burial, and a lot of wounded, including one of their lordships. The less the troops grumble, the better off we'll all be. But that's not even the main problem.
What do you mean?
Did you hear what Sir Divish was saying to Feifar, our master builder?
I heard some of it.
And what did you make of it?
He's a bit concerned.
He said he'd never built a trebuchet catapult. I wouldn't even know where to start, but he might.
But, if it'll take him as long as he said, we can't wait until Judgment Day. We don't have that much time.
I'll try to ask him if I can help in some way.
You should definitely do that. Without a trebuchet, we're much too weak.
God be with you, Henry.
How are you faring, Sir Robard?
How do you think I'm faring, lad? There's some cutthroat thug lolling about in my bed at the castle.
Well, at least no one's raised Talmberg.
Not so far. Though we may end up doing it ourselves to smoke the bastard out.
I imagine Sir Divish isn't taking it too well.
And why do you think he handed command over to me? But it pains my heart, too. That place is my home.
Is there anything you can tell me about Talmberg's weak points?
The truth is, Talmberg has far too few weaknesses. Who'd have thought that was something I'd come to regret?
Do you think Sigismund will come back?
How do I know what's in his head? But if he doesn't take advantage of this chaos, someone else probably will. The whole country will know about it soon enough.
I'd never have thought so many people were keeping an eye on Talmberg. Like that fellow Havel.
Not only Talmberg, and we've left precious few men in Ratai. If we're defeated here, who's to stop them from pillaging the whole province? And there's no shortage of power-hungry bastards like Havel and Toth in Bohemia.
Is there some way we can get through the gate?
There are steps from the gate up to the walkway on the battlements, and I don't know how Istvan's covering them. Then there's the portcullis to get through. A big battering ram might breach it, but how could you get one that close? I reckon we'll have to set fire to it.
Stack up brushwood and light it?
Brushwood, timber, anything that burns, soaked in as much pitch as possible. The local charcoal burners surely have some.
And even if it doesn't burn the gate right down, it'll weaken it and make it easier to break through.
Exactly.
And what about the walls? Which side is the most vulnerable?
The south and east are solid. It would be useless to try anything there.
It's best defended from the north, and as for the west...
From the west is where we tried it, and got royally fucked. if you recall. But I think in the end we'll try that way again, only this time we'll do it better.
Pity they didn't stay holed up in Vranic for longer. It would have been much easier there.
Toth is a wily fox. If he'd had all his men with him there, there would have been real carnage. It's likely we only won there because he'd already gone and taken most of his best soldiers with him.
God save you, Henry.
What's the easiest?
The easiest way? Call in the Royal Army and leave it to them. But there's no Royal Army to help us now, and we can't afford to wait. What's more, we don't want to destroy the castle. Personally, I'd like to return to it.
Repairing the castle would be expensive.
And time-consuming. No trebuchet is wholly on target. The missiles fly as they please. And if we blast the castle to pieces and Sigismund comes back, he'll make short work of us.
Pity they didn't stay holed up in Vranic for longer. It would have been...
Toth is a...
Already done that. Right, well, oh my god, I really need some, I was going to take this potion. After 5 minutes we could actually have help back, so... Let's go to... Supposed to Avenge.
Greetings. What do you need?
Sir Robard sent me to you. He said you have to build a trebuchet.
Indeed. A trebuchet that can smash the walls of Tamburg. I, a mining engineer. What do I know of war machines? I'll never manage it on my own.
Well, I'd like to help you, but how? I don't know anything about trebuchets either.
Actually, there is a way you could help. Conrad Kieser came to Sasso recently. If you could get him to come here, it would save my skin.
Conrad Kieser? Who's he?
He's a scholar who studied medicine, but he also designed siege engines. He even took part in the siege of Nicopolis, together with Sigismund.
You're still an engineer, though. Couldn't you build it yourself?
Are you serious? Do you know how complicated such a machine is? What forces are at work in the contraption? If we were lucky, it wouldn't fire at all. Far more likely it would smash itself to smithereens and kill lots of us instead of the enemy.
Okay.
He was with Sigismund.
It's not so straightforward. They quarrelled after the battle, after Conrad blamed their defeat on Sigismund.
I don't suppose he took that too well.
Quite. That's what led to Conrad being banished from Prague and making a base at Betlen Castle.
Banished? Like a common criminal?
He was a member of the court and a doctor and a master engineer, so nothing quite that bad befell him. I've even heard he has a whole host of wise men with him and they're writing some book together.
What's he doing here in Sassau?
They sent him over here to help with building the monastery. No doubt they had to pay handsomely to get him.
All right, I'll do what I can.
Thank you, Henry. Maybe we will build that trebuchet after all.
Oh, I can see. So we have to now go towards Sasso all the way. Well, okay. Talk to Master Faye there. We've also got something down here. I don't know why. That is a big buggy. Gave it to me. I don't know how they can actually do that change to the layout. Let's look. I'm trying to click it. Hello. It's a bit buggy. Optional talk to certification, talk to Captain Bernard. Ask around camps if you need help. Talk about So we have to go to Captain Nas and Captain. I suppose we can go towards. We don't have medicine healing, so good day.
How are you, Henry? The Lord be praised. What brings you to me?
How do you feel, Sir Divish? How's the shoulder?
I felt better, boy. I feel awful, truth be told, and my shoulder's paining me.
Let someone tend to the wound and you'll soon be better.
The flesh can be healed, perhaps, but the spirit... Henry, can you do something for me?
What is it you need, sir?
I need a priest as well as a physician. The closest was in Rovna, but I don't know what happened to him. And then there's the one from Ujits. What's his name?
Godwin. But why would you need a priest? The wound will heal, especially with the help of one of the monks.
It's not about me. I've got a lot of wounded here that won't see morning, and dead men, and I have to confess my sins.
Oh, Godwin will help me out.
Ah!
I don't mind going back to Godwin. So I suppose right now going towards. So we have to go to Godwin. And that's actually close, so I must not do that next. And I'm also told to the apples also put on my armor so I wouldn't mind having getting some blood. Bernard, my man. Hello, what's going?
God save you.
Yeah, pretty sure. How is Captain Bernard? How are you doing? Any problem with him?
How are the men holding up?
They're a rabble. The out-of-towners are desperate to go home. And the locals, they've got nowhere else to go. So they're just generally complaining.
Are they causing trouble?
No trouble as such. It's true I've caught a few of them asleep on their watch. There's nothing a couple of lashes of the whip can't cure.
Well, there might be a simpler solution.
Whipping a man, simple enough. Just give one of them a beating, the others will remember. When they forget, do it again.
But then you'd have an injured soldier. It occurred to me a herbal potion might do the trick.
I never heard of any wives' quackery helping troop morale. But Christ knows they could do with something to flush the booze out of them and keep their eyes open.
Okay,
I have some, trophies.
Let's see. Good. Good. That's how to treat the bastards.
How goes it, Sir Bernard?
How goes it? We're sitting here under the castle, and all day long there's folks hewing stones. My ears are ringing as if I'd been struck on the head, which is just how I feel.
I felt that way too since the night of the attack.
That went horribly wrong. And even so, we were lucky. Could have gone much worse.
Yeah, that's true. Well, it seems to be we've done also got to talk to someone else.
Jesus Christ be praised.
How are we doing with the food?
Who wants to know? One of their lordships?
No, I just wondered if there was anything you're short of.
Oh, I see. The lordling is wondering if we're in urgent need of anything. Well, well. To tell the truth, we don't have much meat. They bring it round often enough, but never as much as they should.
Yes, I've heard something like that.
I'll say. Every other man's moaning on about it. The gamekeepers are doing all they can, but they can't keep up. So if you know how to help them out, bring it right here. I'll take care of the rest.
Fine, I'll keep that in mind. Do we have any beer?
Christ, I wish we did. Our ale's all gone, and we've drained the local inn dry.
That's bad news.
Don't I know it? You can't go and catch a beer in the woods, either. But if you happen to know about some, let's hear it. News like that'd refresh me almost as much as a drink. And the lads, too.
De kamp zou ik weer niet direct aanschuiven. Okay, well, that is fine. We've done actually all of that. The only thing I only have to talk to Robert, but that's actually just getting to the next phase of it. So I think that it's a nice thing for the next episode, because we have to go to the monastery as well again. We also have to go towards Let Your Cock. We also find out the herbalist could brew something for here. So that's one of the few things that we have to do. We have to go and find, go hunting. Got a few quests to go and do, and I don't mind that actually. So I hope you enjoyed this part. It was the siege preparations and also a night scaling attack. So thank you all for watching, and I see you in the next one. It was Hero of Marathon, and thank you for watching. And if you think I deserve a like, please leave a like. And if you're new to the channel and you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe, and see you in the next one. Have a good time, everyone.